share some reviews with you in terms of my collection and new pens that I come across. Today, I want to start out this review and this series with a fantastic pen. Probably one of my all-time favorites. I have quite a few favorites, but this is definitely at the very top of the list. And that's going to be the Montblanc 146 Legrand. This pen is absolutely brilliant. Excellent German craftsmanship. I mean, this is just really creme de la creme. I've heard a lot of different comments. Different reviewers have looked at this pen and different comments about what's it worth. That there's a love-hate relationship with Montblanc with many fountain pen users, and I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. However, no one can really argue that the quality is there. Whether the price is justified, again, that comes down to an individual buyer looking at the pen, what they think it's worth for whatever reason, whether it's the name brand, the quality, it's going to boil down to what they find is important to them. For me, the craftsmanship is just fantastic. I'm in real estate, and certainly I like to have this pen on standby. That logo says something, whatever it says. If you're looking to impress someone, it may impress some people, it may not. A lot of people won't know what it is. Some people who do know that it's a pricier pen, but whatever that carries. To me, it isn't so much about that logo or the Montblanc name, but to me, it's about the quality. It's about looks. It's about appearance. It's about everything. And classy, yes, absolutely. Just a fabulous pen. I've looked at the 149, of course, and to me, the 149 way too big. And I'm 6'3". I'm a big person. I've got big hands, and this pen sits pretty good in my hand. It's still a hefty pen, even in the shirt pocket. However, the 149 was just a little too much. And quite frankly, I've written with both, and I feel more comfortable writing with the 146. So to me, this is the absolute perfect or pinnacle of a pen when it comes to Montblanc and fountain pens. So there's plenty of reviews online about fountain pens, Montblanc, and any fountain pen out there. A lot of reviewers they'll have their ruler and they'll go through the detail and the weight and the size and the width. You know what? You could go to those sites. You can actually go to Montblanc. You can go to any of these websites out here. You'll find some specifications, in terms of weight and size and all of that. And I'm going to leave that to those people. This is more of an actual user review. What it feels like. We'll do a writing sample. I'm going to tell a little bit about the pen, what I like. You've seen these out there, what you like, what you don't like, and do a writing sample. But certainly we'll go over that. But the pen itself is pretty. It's pretty weighty. It's nice in the hand. It's not too heavy, not too light. It posts well, and a couple of screws and you're done. I think it's 3 twists and you're off. The pen posts really well. Some people are for posting and against it. I like it. It sits fastened enough where it's not going to really pop off when you're using it in your hand. Sometimes when I'm using certain pens, right here when you're writing, sometimes that when you're rubbing it, this will get loose and the cap will come off the posting. Not with the Montblanc. So when you're using that, it's pretty steady on there in the way it sits in my hand. So I'm comfortable doing it. Some people are nervous about scratching the barrel or that area, but I haven't seen any scratching. As long as you're not really drilling the cap onto the back of the barrel when you're posting it, you should be fine. But anyway, so just a fabulous pen. The nib is just incredible, and I'm sure you've seen other videos with this, but it's got the 4810, which is the height of Montblanc mountain itself. You've got the Montblanc emblem on there. And it's just, what? This pen is just fantastic, especially in the sunlight. If I'm writing a contract and I break this out with a client and the sun's hitting it, the way the sun hits that nib and reflects off there and shines, it is just brilliant. It really is just one shiny nib, period. And that is really impressive. I do like the ink window, as you'll see right there. You might get a good view. Okay. if you tilt it down, I do have it inked up. Right now what's in here is the Montblanc Midnight Blue. It's the new non-iron gall ink, which means it's the non-staining or non-permanent ink. I don't like that ink at all, quite frankly. Iron gall or not, whether it was the first one, to me it's more gray, and I'm not a fan of that, but I got it, wanted to see what it was like. So to me, I'm not a big fan. The ink is fine. It's just too gray for me. I'm more of a, if I'm using black or a darker midnight blue, I would like more dark blue, midnight blue than what this has to offer. So if you're looking for that, just be aware you're going to get more of a darker shade of gray, in my opinion, with hints of blue. So, but this pen is fantastic. The clip is great. Really sits nice and snug in your shirt pocket. Never had it fall out, especially when I'm bending over, if I drop something or I have to pick something up, it doesn't come out of my pocket, which is really cool. Not a whole lot more to say about the pen. We've got, of course, the 3 gold bands, which is the trademark of the Montblanc. It does say Montblanc Meisterstück Picks on this one. And of course you have the serial number on the band up here, which is pretty standard. It should have. If it does not have the serial number, then you are in trouble. And then on the inside of the clip you have Germany, and it says Pix in there as well. And that's trademark or registered trademark. Anyway, just a great pen. Fantastic. And the writing is just awesome. So why don't we go to a writing sample and kind of get an idea. And what I don't like about the pen, before we do that, nothing. There's quite frankly nothing I don't like about this pen. It's got that classic cigar shape. The resin is fantastic, or precious resin as it is advertised. Fantastic. You got to care for it. I don't have, it's brand new, so I really don't have any scratches on it. Take care of your pen. This isn't an inexpensive piece. This is something that you're going to want to take good care of. So take care of it. When I got it straight out of the packaging and out of the box, it wrote like a dream. Some people claim it's a little too polished. Some people have a baby's bottom issue. I did not. I mean, this pen wrote like I would have expected it to write with what I paid for it, and just beautifully. Not one issue whatsoever. So just fantastic. But let's get into the writing sample, and we'll give you a little example of how it writes. Okay, we're going to do a little writing sample now with the Montblanc 146. And we are using a nib that is a medium. And the ink for today is the Private Reserve Tanzanite. Great ink. I mean, that is just eye-popping awesome. So tremendous ink. So as you'll see, I mean, just to give a contrast, I'll give you a contrast in a minute with a different type of a medium line, because this is obviously medium for Montblanc. And in my opinion, it's great. It lays down a great line, but to me, it's just a little bit too broad. I would say probably Montblanc's medium, for me, falls more in line with the medium broad, versus, let's say, a Lamy All-Star Safari, which is on the other end of the price spectrum. On the lower end, that lays down the most perfect medium I've ever seen. Even on the Pelicans here, I've got a Pelican 215, lays down a tremendous medium. Love it. But the medium on the Pelican Suveron M600 lays down a little bit of a thicker line than I like. So even within the same brand, the different nibs give a difference. So there's never a consistency. So if you're not familiar with your pens, it's definitely a good idea to get out there and try different pens in person to see which nibs you like. and that suits your needs. But I'll give you an example with a Lamy compared to this. I've never seen people do that before, so like do different pen nibs just to give an idea, because somebody might not have a Montblanc or you know, an M800, M600, or you know, a King of Pen or something very expensive like that, and they don't have anything to gauge. Hey, listen, I want to take that next step up to an expensive pen. What's the nib like? What's the size? You know, it's hard to gauge on a video. So I'll do an example. But line variation with this pen is going to be minimal at best. Downstrokes, you're obviously going to get more. You're going to get some variation on the side strokes. So but it's again very nominal. Ink and laying down, yeah, it's a wet writer, period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's wet. It takes a second to dry. Now this is on a Rhodia dot pad, so it's a thicker stock paper, and it does absorb pretty well. But even so, you know, you're going to have some drying time there when you're using this pen. We'll do a quick writing sample after this. Just wanted to kind of show you the consistency of the pen. You know, show me the line variation. Good luck. You know, I mean, I'm gonna have to turn the pen a little to get some, but or flex it just mildly to get something, but you're not gonna get anything tremendous. We'll do the standard writing, which the quick brown fox. You know, it's always works well for me. You know, and if you write quickly, you know, you're not gonna get, there's no skips. The pen keeps up and it keeps performing and performing and performing. This pen is a workhorse. It is meant to be an eye popper. It's a 14 karat nib. Of course, I think I explained that already. It's an eye popper. It's, you know, for show, but it's also the workhorse. And it's not like the 149, which is gonna be too big. I mean, I got big hands. I have big hands. There's no question. And I mean, you know, this sits well in my hand, unposted. I can post it, and it's great. But the minute I get into that 149, great, I can hold it and I can use it. But seriously, for like extended periods of writing, not gonna happen. You know, no, I'm not gonna use it for that. It didn't, because of showpiece, and that's great. And certainly, I know I will get one for a showpiece, but for an everyday writer where it's not too flamboyant or extravagant, the 146 is the perfect blend. By the way, I really love this tanzanite. This just came in the other day. I had in the actually before doing, I was running out of ink. I was running low on ink on the Montblanc Midnight Blue, the non-iron gall version. So I had got tons of ink I want to be trying. I'd also be doing some ink reviews as well. But the tanzanite just came in, and I don't think it does as justice on the video as it does on paper. It is just eye-poppingly beautiful, like a bluish purple. I mean, it's awesome. Great color. Anyways, but I'll do ink reviews as well moving forward. Probably be putting out a good 1 or 2 reviews a week is what I'm looking at doing. So we're going to touch on all the pens. But ultimately, the writing on this pen is phenomenal. Really, really like it. I mean, it's just a wet writer, and it's just glistening. I don't know, you can't really see, but man, if I, you know, but if you wait a while, and I'll give you an example, if you wait a few more seconds, let it sit, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I see it drying. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You still got that little area that was wet. But, you know, not bad. I mean, really not bad. Just lays down, to me, the perfect amount of ink. And it's with whatever ink I'm using. The Iroshizuku Asagao, that dries a little bit quicker. The Tanzanite seems to be staying wet a little bit longer, but this is a rhodia pen. It absorbs pretty quickly. So depends on what ink you're using too, but just rest assured, this is not a dry writer, and that's good news. But it's not overly wet either. To me, perfect balance. So that's really going to wrap up the writing sample, and I hope that answered any questions. The next writing samples and the next videos are going to be probably a little more succinct. This is my first one, so for the fountain review, or pen reviews anyway. So they'll be a little more succinct, but and more structured. Just kind of want to get this one out there and get it going. I'm very excited. Love this pen. I mean, I can't say enough about this pen. It is just a beauty, and it's fun to have, and it's great to whip out. If I'm doing a real estate contract for a client and I break it out, some people will recognize what it is, some people don't. But for me, the beauty is the fun in writing with it. And whether anybody notices it's a Montblanc or not, they do notice it's a fountain pen. And fewer and fewer people are using fountain pens these days. So I think it is really cool when you can whip one out. And I think more people will be more fascinated that it's a fountain pen, saying, "Oh, what's that?" And I love to do my contracts in different colors. So that's always fun when you can do a really cool eye-popping color. But anyway, so we'll move forward. We'll see you in the next video. Hope that was helpful. Hope you got something out of it. And we'll see you next time.